Hey everybody, this is a Bugsy No Name video, and yeah, I got some things I want to discuss. Okay, I woke up early today, and I looked, and someone by the name of Astral Wing was talking about how let me go grab my example. I don't want to be going off of memory. Because and I had to explain the Sally Kill Club to some people. If y'all know what that is, you are way too young to be watching my videos. Exactly too young. But yeah, this basically there's like one reason. Robert, what looks like what it looks like when Sonic actually loves you back. It's pretty much Sally. That's not the one thing I was talking about. Where's the other stuff? I had to explain the like past analogy of why like the Sally Kill Club and what they were about. And basically, if you were a Sally M fan back in the days of Sonic X, what kind of shit you would deal with. Because I remember when I was like before this channel really kind of went the way it is now. Before it really went the way it currently is now, it basically, okay. Let me explain this. It like I used to roleplay, and I used to be in like a lot of Sonic roleplay and stuff. And like the moment you mention Sally to a bunch of Sonic fans, they lose their fucking minds. And I would be so. It's all like, what did Sally do to y'all? It's always like, and it's always the same thing. Like, but Sally slapped Sonic. First, I chalked it up to bad writing, and then I tried to explain it. Then I figured out who really did it, and now I'm just like, these motherfuckers be using that one excuse made by an editor who was like, and Jonathan Gray was like, they were like, yes, let's do this because we can't write characters in a relationship because we suck as writers. But that's not the point. But I'm talking about like Sonic fans like to use that as like, well, that's the reason why no one likes Sally, and it's like, what? Okay, alright. But reasons, but it's like, okay, Esther Ring said this, and this is like an old thing, but I don't know. It like, even though this was old, like it started some shit. It started some shit. So basically, it's like, why reason Archie fans get criticized? People drop hateful comments to Tango and Whisper. People feel okay. Let me put that on to the forefront. People feel slighted about Tango and Whisper because they are they were comic book only characters, and now they're in canon, and people are like, man, I'm pissed off at that. Number two, Number two, they belittle when people praise IDW. Okay, let me just say the IDW fans who literally saunt over to Ian Flynn and do the unspeakable on their knees will literally do the same thing. Like, I got attacked by a bunch of freaking Ian Flynn fans because Scourge the Hedgehog, and because it's connected to Ken Penders. Those IDW fans proved to me that they don't give a shit about what I think. They were quickly labeling me as like a Republican and a bunch of other shit. All because I felt a little bit. I was a little excited that a Scourge comic was happening. Now, okay, let me just show you. I'm not saying that Archie fans don't go on the defensive. Trust me, there's one fan on our side who I literally wish we could just disown from the fandom completely. But I'm talking about the IDW guys first. Let's talk about what happened this year with Kevster. He said he didn't like Surge one-shotting Metal Sonic, and he had opinions about that. And the IDW fans descended on him like an angry batch of hawks. By the time I saw it, he already deleted his tweet, so I couldn't even get those idiots back for what they did. They rocked this man to his car, and he almost left. Those like you say, oh, we go on the attack, but so do they. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but you gotta acknowledge that both sides of this fandom go on the offensive. Three, they sound extremely bitter when trying to prove a point nobody wants. I think it's dickish because not a lot of us are. Only the ones that are have YouTube channels where they just make videos of talking about how much they hate something, and they literally sit there and go. They literally sit there and be like, yeah, and like I hate this and I hate education and a bunch of other stuff. It's just that's a whole different can of worms. But like not every fan is like that. And I feel like people need to understand we can't be lumping people in with those 5 or 6 or even a handful of the fucking 5 or 6 of those motherfuckers who want to start shit. I've talked to IDW fans that are really nice and really cool. And I've talked to Archie fans that are cool but can be a little dickish. But how you think some of us feel, man? Like the Archie comics was taken from up under us. How do you think we feel? Like, yeah, some people let it go. I've let it go because I feel like with Ken Penders, we were fucked from the start. And there's nothing else we can do about that. Other people like me, we accept this. Others do not. Others want to start shit and make us all look bad. But I hate it when people lump you into another group because I remember back in the day when we were all making Sonic fan characters back in the day, people would lump us in with Chris Chan like we'd all be like him just because we made fan characters. Oh, if you made this fan character, you're exactly like Chris Chan. Sonic sucks. Like, y'all don't understand. I used to deal with that shit on a constant basis when I was a teenager. It was to the point where you couldn't even say nothing about Sonic without some bitch ass troll thinking that they got one over on you. Sonic sucks. Just the usual shit because they probably come from a home where where barnyard animals took over the booty holes. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't think too deeply into that. But what I'm saying, folks, what I'm trying to say to you is that both sides have their uglier sides. A fandom is not made of just good people and bad people. It's both. You just gotta pick on which side you really want to be on. Like, let's take Son Ali Forever for example, and let's take Amy Rose Lover for example. Two sides of different parts of the fandom. The side that loves Sally and the side that loves Amy. Both go to extremes to prove their points. Both literally will talk shit about the other character because, I don't know, man, like, I don't know, Amy must have snubbed Son Ali Forever at a party or something. I personally just think he a hateful motherfucker, personally. Like, he's that one, like, let me just say this, he's that one dude that will just hate on you for no reason. Only the perceived reason he has in his mind. Now, Amy Rose Lover is debated. It's debated whether Amy Rose Lover is like... It's debated whether Amy Rose Lover is a troll or not. But I don't think she is, because I've seen some Son Ali fans act as dumb as this person does. Like, seriously. Let's get all the Son Amy fans together and stop the statue of Sally. It was really dumb, because, like, look, I think Amy's alright. I ain't like those Son Ali fans that are like, no, Amy sucks, Sally rules. Like, literally, there's a place for both of them. And I don't care what Son Ali Fan Forever says or what Amy Rose Lover says, there's room for both of those characters. But y'all will never allow that to happen because y'all want to fight until you fucking nose bleed. I'm saying both of them are gonna get an aneurysm because they get so angry. And I think that's bullshit. I think it's bullshit that, like, us Son Ali fans are all like the toxic ones, and the Son Ali fans the Son Amy fans haven't done shit. Like, nah, they have too. Remember, I was talking about HM Shadow, who literally shat on Sally with stupid thinly veiled argument because Sally isn't anything and because he has this bias for Amy. That basically makes him right. That's what pissed me off. He said he was gonna look at Sally fairly, and he didn't. He was like, no, Amy works because, like, yeah, I'm like, and because they're different species, I'm like, their Mobians get down differently than what we assume animals in the animal kingdom get down, okay? Like, I'm tired of people always saying, but Sonic and Sally ain't the same species. They're Mobians, dude. They can probably crossbreed. Jesus. I'm tired of all y'all motherfuckers saying that because y'all don't know shit from Shiloh. The moment y'all see Sally, some of you motherfuckers act like your fucking brains are gonna explode. Oh my god, Sonic actually had somebody before. Sonic actually had love interest before Amy. Oh my god. And she's not even in the continuity. But I still feel like I need to be angry about I still need to be fucking angry about a character that's probably not gonna be in another Sonic property. And don't even get me started on you on the more dickish Son Ali fans. Like, at the end of the day, and I'm using Son Ali Forever as an example because quite frankly, he's the more recent example. you'd probably be like, Bugsy, why ain't you using Richard Kuda? Because Richard Kuda is only the sum of what the fandom has done to him. And I'm not mad at him, and I kind of, I apologize to him for all the messed up shit I said. But I feel like Larry is one of those people. I feel like Silently Forever is one of those people who feel like I gotta hate everything because people always shitting on me for whatever reason, and that's the reason why I do what I do. That's why I feel like Silently Forever does what he does. And what's left is just a dude that's a hateful motherfucker. And I tried to explain to that man. I tried to explain to him that I used to be like that. That used to be how I used to think. I was trying to help him out, but he said I was gaslighting him and a bunch of other shit. And I was like, okay, man. He's like, you're getting me dead. I'm not trying to be, dude. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you out. Even if you didn't ask for it. That's what people like me do. Yeah. But that video was totally a waste of time because I knew going in that, this person wasn't going to listen to me if she was getting mad at everybody else. But I tried anyway. Because that's the kind of person I am. I feel like I hate when people try to lump other people in with us. With Silent Alley fans that just want Sally to return, but we don't want to fucking fight nobody. Most of us fought back in the early 2000s over this shit. And we're like, some of us are older now. We're just like, we'll fight for Sally. We're not going to just fight against the Sonic Amy fans because we know that that's not going to get anything done. And there will always be Sonic Alley fans who act like they have to fight, they have to smear Amy or Rouge or any of the other characters because literally it's not the Freedom Fighters. Those people will always exist. But there are people like me who literally see the Sonic franchise for what it is and for what it means to a lot of us. A franchise that is constantly changing, constantly evolving, constantly improving. Both in gameplay and now story. While a lot of you are just like, well, I can't be cool with the Sonic Amy fans, and I can't be cool with the Sonic Alley fans. I'm not telling y'all to be cool, but I'm just telling y'all, all of us are never gonna get what we want. I'm just being real with you. I'm saying, Sonic Alley fans, we ain't never gonna get. There's a possibility that we might get Sally back, but there's not really a guarantee. And Sonic Amy fans, Amy's whole thing is downplayed with Sonic, and y'all want her to be all Miss Lovey. You want her to be Miss Lovey Dovey, and that ain't happening anymore. You guys ain't getting what you want anymore. None of us are. But still, we're sitting here. I'm sitting here talking to you, talking to all of you, and we're fighting over pointless shit. You know? We're fighting over pointless shit, man. For what? For fictional characters? Fictional characters we all love. I ain't gonna oversell. I'm not gonna delineate. I'm not gonna fucking just delineate from that and tell you that it's not important. It is to us. But when you start going at people over stupid shit like Sonic Alley Forever and fucking Amy Rose Lover, it just seems like you're fucking gatekeeping. Dude, I looked at Amy Rose Lover's tweets one time and I got so mad. Because it isn't just Sonic Alley, it's for anybody who ships any Sonic character with any Sonic character. She gets so mad about that shit. Dude, you're never gonna get what you want by force alone. And if I can say this to Sonic Alley fan forever, it's pretty obvious. You are never You can keep on hating for the rest of your days, but really, what's that really gonna get you? You got a handful of people that think like you do, but I mean, really, if people are always gonna see you as the dude that hates, I mean, that ain't fulfilling, dude. And you can pretend like you don't. You can watch that video and pretend like you don't hear me and say shut up and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, that's the legacy you're gonna carve out for yourself, whether you like that shit or not, whether you listen to me or not. I'm just saying have fun with it because that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. The video I did was trying to. The video I tried to do was trying to help you, but you don't need it, and I understand. But I am gonna use you as an example because, quite frankly, you're everything that a lot of us Son Alley fans don't want to be. So yeah, you're an example. Now, that's out of the way. I want to talk a little bit about Conker's other fur day because oh my god, I need to show you a video, man. I need to show you a video because legit, I cannot do this justice. It's the one real reason why I'm actually kind of pissed at Microsoft. Yeah, not for the acquisition like all these other all the other little Sony fanboys are, and how the Sony fanboys be going after the PlayStation fanboys. Nah. I feel like I'm just gonna say it right now. All those motherfuckers that be making shit about PlayStation is better and all this other shit and try to back it up with stupid claims from both sides, from the Sony side and the Microsoft side. Let me just spell this out for you. The companies that you love so much that you hope to get the suck from will never truly acknowledge any of you. While you're fucking sitting there getting mad because a favorite game you like is now on PC and shit. Calm your fucking nipples. Okay? Calm your nipples. All of you. Y'all want to know why I'm mad at Microsoft? And I'll kind of always try to campaign for Conker's other fur day to be released. I'm gonna show you a video, and I'm gonna interject ever so often in typical me fashion, because honestly, I want to show you guys this. It's really important that I show you guys this. When I actually heard the story for Conker's other bad fur day, I literally lost my shit because it was so good. It was everything a Conker fan would have wanted and more. And it just boggles my fucking mind. It boggles my actual mind why Microsoft never tried to pick this up. I mean, y'all got Rare. Y'all made Young Conker. No one wanted that. Even people that had HoloLenses, they didn't want that shit. They didn't want none of that. But this is the game we could have got on the GameCube, because that's what Conker's other bad day could have actually been on before the buyout. I'm just oh my fucking god. There's been more stuff brought out about other Conker's other bad day, and I'm just wow. We could have had all of that. And guys, if you hear my dog, she's just crying that She's just crying because the cats are out. So to just know that that's happening right now. Oh wait a minute. I hate when it like freezes like that when it's trying to. We're gonna watch it on TV because I don't want to move.
This video talks about a game that's very graphic.
Even
and a
in
lot of adult themes. If you're not
even in a
comfortable with
virtual
that,
space,
this
I'm
video may not
lazy.
be for you. This game is pretty fucking raw, so viewer discretion is advised. Back in 1997, a game called Diddy Kong Racing was released. It was a game where Diddy Kong and friends raced.
Let me
each other in
just
different
speed
vehicles.
this.
Some good old Nintendo fun.
Speed this to the point.
The game, of course, had a very bright and colorful cast of different animals you could play as. But one of them isn't like the others. This character would get to be in his own game after Diddy Kong Racing. And that game is all about getting drunk, killing people, musically talented pieces of shit, and a lot of other fucking nonsense. It was the completely fucking insane N64 game, Conker's Bad Fur Day. Conker Burbank, from the first game. He's facing very harsh cold weather at the moment, so it's no longer green or vibrant. Places such as Pooh Mountain are gone, and now that it's gone, it turned the surrounding area into a stinking bog. Most of the old exits into the old level
Hold up, everybody.
and the windmill itself is
I
under
shall
construction.
return.
Chris Seaver pokes fun at this, saying maybe Conker will finally get to play the
Time to
game.
do another cut. Hold up. Hey, you're finally awake. You were saying, I had to cut it because literally, my dog was both hungry, and I had to go tend to that. You try doing these videos when your dog's like seriously, when she's hungry enough, she'll like literally like groan over me, like she's talking over me, like she'll be like, Bugsy, feed me now, So then I gotta go talk to my sister and get her to help out and stuff like that. So it takes a minute. But let's go back. Now, I want to preference this with the fact that I don't really hate Microsoft too much. I just wish that Conker's Other Bad Day got to see the light of day. That's what I care about. Because the story in this just feels like just a grander continuation of what happened before, and I love it. And it just pisses me off to no end that I know they got some of the Rare team working on Sea of Thieves, but tell me, and I'm talking to all the Conker fans on the audience. Tell me, you wouldn't be a little bit happy if like maybe one day they release like not only Conker's Other Bad Day, but what if they not only release that, they release that Conker Getting Medieval and Pocket Tales, and they release it as Conker's Lost Adventures. Think about that. Think about what that would be. Just a new Conker game with two older Conker ideas given new life. And I'm telling you, the amount of money that they could get off of us Conker fans would be immense, because a lot of us still want a Conker game. Most of us have YouTube. Some of us have YouTube channels, and we'll probably try to, by doing videos, we'll kind of get into people's head that this may be something that they want to play. It's stuff like that, you just gotta think about and consider, you know what I mean? That's what I'm really trying to fucking say here. A lot of people are just that's what I would really, that is, now a lot of people want to say. I think a lot of people would go for that simply because, well, man, there's a lot of us Conker fans that just kind of feel kind of, kind of in a weird way disenfranchised because of the whole, well, young Conker fiasco. Like, no one was gonna get a freaking Microsoft lens to go play young Conker. It don't even look like, and like, let me be real, the Pocket Tales version of Conker looks more like a young Conker. I don't know why they didn't just go with that. But let's not get into young Conker's bull. And trust me, if they brought back Other Bad Day, they can actually even reference how bad Young Conker actually was as a game. I wouldn't want it to get too referential with Microsoft, but just to a point.
Windmill level in this game. The only other main thing to mention about this area is that there's a Prince Bee now, and he has a new hive defense system, which is essentially a honey fortress.
Or sweet bees.
And a forest has also appeared. But now, Conker is really going to explore the world. Before we do though, let me remind you that one of Conker's most consistent themes is the movie references. There will be a lot of movie references later in the plot, so I'd like to mention this beforehand. Like, look at this emblem that didn't even make it into the document. A school called Hog's Arts.
Hog's
Arts. For swearing and magic. This was an obvious parody of Harry Potter's Hogwarts.
Like, every time I see it, I'm just like, Hog
Back
Arts.
to the story. The next place Conker visits is the Cheesy Kingdom, which is ruled by Marvin's cousin. This king apparently wears a suit of cheese, which is dope as hell. That is.
I'm just thinking, but would Marvin's cousin be mad because Conker did feed him cheese until he literally exploded? I'm just kind of wondering, would there be a thing with that, or would he just be like, you know what? I didn't like that motherfucker anyway. He was eating all the cheese. Didn't like it. Didn't like him. He just kept eating all the cheese, and we told him he was gonna explode. I mean, Conker, you let him meet his maker early. But soon, I don't even know.
There's some quality men's warehouse apparel. The French cheese we mentioned earlier, Camembert, is rescued here. This kingdom is connected to the old barn from the first game, which is now completely flooded in a no man's land. And there are still rumors that a certain brass cyborg is still lurking beneath the barn. Next location to visit is the Wasp Factory, a huge mechanical honey-making enterprise formed by the infamous Wonka gang, but they lack one important ingredient: hives.
The Wampa gang.
Will Conker help them by stealing the hives, or will he stop Wonka's gang from doing so? I don't even fucking know. It doesn't say. But there was going to be a section where Conker rides on the back of bees and shoots people.
I think that would have been amazing. With like a kind of, with a theme that's kind of like a Conker version of like Doom, or just like the feeling, like some piece of music that kind of feels like kind of like Doom, because Microsoft and Bethesda are kind of cool, so you could get away with that. And it would just be, oh, hold up, I have to turn off my freaking mouse, my wireless mouse, because it's acting all kinds of wonky. I didn't even touch the mouse wheel, but yet it decided to do all that. I need to get a new mouse. This one has seen better days. I'm thinking of getting a Bluetooth one instead of those dongle ones. I'm thinking of getting a Bluetooth mouse. Something that's easier to control, and it's not gonna do all this.
So take that to your own interpretation. Next area, Clang Bastards. They made a
I
mess
hate
of
these
themselves. And what do they do all
motherfuckers.
day? They just move metal around for no apparent reason at all.
That's the kind of
Just to
fucking
do it.
noise they make.
Just for the fucking rush. Conker needs to actually become a clank himself in this level, which is described as a moderately painless transition, which personally I have a hard time believing, but you know, whatever. Alright,
hate
let's take
them
another
fucking
area.
things.
The Teddy's Other Island. This is a long forgotten Teddy's Training Island, which was recently discovered by the Squirrel High Command. And they were described as literally like shitting themselves over finding this out. And I don't fucking blame them. Do you remember what happened?
Dude, the fact that there's another Teddy base. I mean, yeah, I bet the squirrels would be shitting themselves. They got slaughtered. Conker was like pretty much kind of the sole survivor, other than fucking Roden, who had the shell. So yeah, I can kind of see, man, that they're like, oh shit, there's another Teddy base. I'm like, and one freaking soldier's like, sorry, Sergeant, I just shit myself. And seriously, they could totally put that into, totally put that into a cutscene. They don't even have to show it. They can just make a quick little fart sound and just go, yeah, just make a squishy noise and be like, Sarge, he shit himself. Yeah, Private, I see that. I see that.
Did them in the first game? This other Teddy's Island is where most of the unused and more horrifying experiments were done by the professor. And Conker would apparently do some aerial combat in this section.
They don't really explain it in the thing.
Conker goes to the Federal Reserve Bank from the first game and meets the Weasel boss, the one who made the deal with the Panther King. They fight, and Conker slays the Weasel boss.
Okay, let me
This might sound like
explain.
it's going bad for the Panther King,
Basically,
but in reality, this is just what the Panther King wanted. He double-crossed the Weasel boss and was hoping...
Okay, the beginning of the thing, y'all know that Conker basically spent his money Conker spent his money on booze, hookers, possibly blow. And he gets out. Greg the Reaper, who doesn't like Conker because he has an abundance of lives, and the Fairy Panther King just kind of hates Conker, even though technically the only thing he technically wanted out of Conker was just a table leg. But yeah, he hates Conker, and he's in the afterlife simply because you know what happened after Bad Fur Day. For those of you that don't know, a Xenoverse popped out of this man's chest, and his design pretty much shows. You can see his rib cage and stuff where the Xenoverse kind of popped out. The Xenomorph, why did I say Xenoverse? God, I got Xenoverse on the brain.
hoping Conker would win. Because of this, Conker isn't accused of treason, but now murder. So as a result, Conker gets executed, all according to the Panther King's plan. Conker wakes up in the basement, which means he was officially killed off. But he's confused to see a massive thumping nightclub in front of him. He goes inside to see it's being run by the weasel boss he just killed. And I want to pause for a second. I know he's a successful weasel. He's got mad money and a sprawling business. But you're telling me he built a nightclub, hired staff, then had people actually enter the nightclub all in 5 minutes? That might be the most fucking impressive thing I think I've ever seen someone do. Back to the story. Conker is just chilling in the nightclub, as you do when you die. And then Greg comes up behind him just being a toddler, laughing and saying how Conker's dead forever because he got executed. Pretty much just explaining what situation Conker's in. But Greg, being a little bitch, gave us a revelation. Greg mentions that the Panther King has now returned to the World of Living thanks to the deal they made. But he's returned to the World of Living in Conker's body. The Panther King being in Conker's body made it all grayish and overall more vicious because it's no longer Conker, it's the Panther King. And you know damn well the Panther King's gonna fuck some shit up. But while this is happening, another plotline starts to develop. The professor we thought was dead from the first game has seemed to survive.
And oh my god, just this story alone, I'm just cutting a little bit of it, but this story alone is just everything I wanted in a Conker sequel, and I'm telling you, all you Conker fans out there, you gotta agree with me here. There's no debate here. There's no fucking debate here. This would have been so fucking cool. You can't tell me that it wouldn't be. You can't tell me that it wouldn't be. But like, let me just say this. Let me just say this. Like, honestly, I would love this game. Like, there's like this whole thing with like the Panther King. Some people still call him the Fairy Panther King. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the fairy tale thing, but I don't. Because Conker calls him the Fairy Panther King, and I'm like, okay, when did that name get circulated around? We all knew him as kind of the Panther King, kind of. Why is he the Fairy Panther King? Just, you know, either way. I don't know, it's just a semantic thing I've always kind of thought about at like 3 a.m.
Seems he has a familiar face in the tank back there. I wonder what will come of this. Okay, back to the main plot. The Panther King goes out in the world to get the rest of the Weasel Boss's money that was hidden. You actually get to play as him, which is pretty cool.
I think it's pretty awesome.
When you finally get all the cash, and the Panther King reestablishes himself as the king of all the lands. But some of Conker's best buds realize the situation and figure out this isn't their friend Conker, but the evil Panther King. So a fight breaks out.
And the Panther King ends up killing them.
The fight is brutal.
And
a true fight to the death. All of Conker's friends are committed to fight until the end. But it's no use. Commembert, the Raptor, and even our favorite Pitchfork, Frankie, all pass away from this exchange. It was a very tragic loss for our heroes. And everything seems that it's lost. Conker and friends now stuck in the basement. There's no way to win. Unless they work together. This begins Conker and friends' mission to fight Greg, Death himself, to have a chance at escaping the basement. On the way, they even see some familiar faces that died in that burden. But they find him, Greg, and figure out about a boat named Gigantic, the largest cruise ship in the history of the land. It was declared unsinkable, but you guessed it, it fucking sank. But as a result of it sinking, it now acts as a ferry boat between the life of the living and the dead, and Greg has a season ticket onto the ship. If Conker can...
See, now, one thing I like about this, it's like they're working in the movie parodies a lot more organically. And yes, I do half expect a I'm the king of the world sort of thing from one of the characters. Not Conker, but from one of the characters. Or something that kind of says, says that exact thing, but differently.
Get his hand on that ticket, his ass can get out the basement. Greg is not having any of Conker's shit, so he summons the Panther King into the basement to beat Conker in a 2v1 battle. They have a climactic fight, Conker versus Death himself, and the Conker doppelganger. It gets heated, but Conker finds a way to win in the most stressful of times. He remembers Greg's pure hatred for cats, so he beats the fuck out of Death with the power of cats. He then
I really wish
if the Panther King stays in the basement, he could team up with Greg again.
So anyone animate that scene. We got do it in Source. Seriously, it'd be so cool if you do it. Seriously, it'd be so amazing. Because I can only imagine what that could be. I could seriously only vaguely imagine what that could actually be like.
He takes the king hostage with him onto the Gigantic so they can sail back into the world of living. They sail back on the Gigantic, but while on it, Conker meets a girl named Bunny the Rabbit. He seems to have taken a romantic interest in Bunny. Maybe she's the missing piece to Conker being whole.
Bunny Rabbit. Yeah, it seems like someone Conker would literally get down with on a good day. I'm just saying. Not being weird or creepy, but I'm just being honest. This is the kind of shit that Conker be going for. Although, what would happen if he got with the big caveman chick? I wonder. I want to know how would life work for Conker being with a big cave woman, like that's bigger than him.
Piece that was taken away with Barry died a couple years back. While the Gigantic is sailing back to the realm of living, it hits a giant operatic pile of poo that sinks.
Oh my
Because of this
god.
poo mishap, the ship starts sinking.
I
Conker.
want that to be just the Great Mighty Pooh, because when he got flushed, they could just say he went into the ocean. Is like, look who's back for a pre. Yeah, I could just see that, man. I could see that. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, the Great Mighty Pooh is like my favorite part of Conker's Bad Fur Day. I'm always playing that part because, quite literally, it's funny as hell, and you like, who thinks of an operatic singing piece of shit? Like, who thinks of that shit? I thought that shit was the most glorious thing in the world, and I still do, because it just like I like playing Conker's Bad Fur Day with people that don't even know about it, and then just showing them the Great Mighty Pooh. While I do the whole, I am the Great Mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat? Yeah, I'm never gonna stop singing that shit. Like, I have that shit memorized. Pun totally intended. When I knock you out with all my government. Like, I need to stop. We're gonna sing the whole fucking thing.
Panics and goes to rescue
We
Bunny.
don't got
He
time.
ends up saving her life from certain death, and this really kindles their relationship. Conker friends were able to make it back into the world of living, and the Panther King, he's cool too. He's alright. Now being alive again, Conker once again sits on the throne. They banished the.
I want to know if Conker's
Castle
fur
Jail
stays
Conker was
black.
in earlier today. Conker is now dubbed the Emperor of the known universe, replacing the Panther King after he became Emperor from killing literally everything and everyone. Conker's friends will now plan Conker's wedding with his new girlfriend Bunny, a royal wedding. Conker has a new love and will now spend his days forever happy. Conker finally got the good ending he deserved. As the credits roll. Wait, what the fuck? That's fucking right. There's more. The credits actually start rolling. Just
This
like
okay. I'm gonna
The entire
like
castle shakes
at a
and it's
point.
like-
I'm gonna pause it.
Conker is confused as fuck. He even asks the programmers like what's going on, and they have no clue either. So Conker checks the clock, and he realizes it's only after tea time. So he makes a joke about saying the day hasn't finished yet, so stop the credits. The game isn't over. Conker quickly rushes over to one of the castle windows to see what's going on. And he looks outside to see a giant fucking metallic starfish hovering over the windmill. This
Sweet
mechanism is known as
Jesus.
the Death Starfish, and soon it will destroy the entire world. It's starting a really dramatic countdown, and as it slowly goes down, Conker needs to find a way to beat it before it gets to zero and they all die. So Conker has to act, and fast. Conker goes to check out what's causing all this nonsense. When he arrives, a bunch of teddies are being sent down to Windmill Land from the Death Starfish. So Conker and Co. fight him off for a little while fighting to see the professor in the distance, which shocks
Yeah, I had to
Conker.
do the same thing.
I mean, Conker witnessed him die in the
Love that
first
shit.
game. And Barry, too.
Like, have I told you guys how much I actually love this
But he has no
game?
time to think about that. Now that they know the professor is behind this, they rush over to his tower, where he made all of his
Hell, I
mistakes.
got even a little.
But as they enter,
Hell,
even more
Steven
advanced
Spark
models
was
of
talking about it. I got a little slighted about it because, like, you know, like I can kind of see his point, but I fucking love Conker. Where most parents wouldn't give the kid a game like that, my parents did. They fucking rocked for that. you know. And me and my cousin played through it, but we never beat it. And I got to play through the game once. Didn't get to the ending all the way, so I used the cheat code to see what's on the other side. But I did beat it. I did play through it once after that. And I love Conker's Bad Verde. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to say it.
The space
I
heavies.
do.
They are dropping from the Death Starfish in mass and are fucking shit up. Conker quickly rushes up to the top of the tower and finds an old rocket the professor built. So without thinking twice, he gets on. Conker wants to end this shit now. He just wants to be happy for once. He wants his marriage to go perfect and settle down with Bunny. Just as Conker dreamed, all he wants to do is be home with Bunny while having a bottle of beer. Just a simple life. He flies the rocket and arrives onto the Death Starfish. He sees the professor, and in good old Conker fashion, he fucking obliterates him. Easy shit. Conker then destroys the whole Death Starfish itself, saving the world for good. Or so he thought.
And you know what?
A familiar face next appears. It's Barry, but as a cyborg. She did survive after all. Conker's going through so many emotions. He doesn't know what to say.
Like, Barry coming back as a cyborg would be kind of interesting. Because, yeah, she kind of comes back for revenge because Conker didn't save her. She's mad that, Conker didn't really try to save her when he couldn't. It was like too fast. Y'all saw how Barry got shot. For those of you that are Conker fans, y'all saw that. But yeah, she was just basically doing that. They have a fight. He brings the Fairy Panther King along, and they fight together. Barry, Mecha Barry, or this version of Barry calling herself the Panther Queen. No, I'm serious. And then then she wanted to make a clone to be a perfect clone that she can transplant her consciousness in. But then Conker beats Barry, and then finds out that his girl, but the bunny he was going to marry turned into a zombie. But Conker is so done with it. He goes and starts to marry the zombie. But the clone Barry that didn't know anything about, the Panther Queen Barry variant and everything that happened between her and Conker actually makes it to the wedding. And Conker is basically like, fuck this, I'm gonna marry the zombie. And then the Barry clone literally gets up to speak, and then that's where they end it. And I'm just so pissed off that this never got to be a thing. You guys can't tell me that this wouldn't be compelling. You can't tell me that this wouldn't work or this wouldn't be compelling on some level. Well, let me just get to it. I want you guys to at least hear this part.
Build the moon and arrive at the base. And at first, Conker sees how small it is and makes a remark on how he thought it would be bigger. But then they enter the building and go underground. And it's actually huge inside. Almost an empire. An insane, crazy-ass moon base. And here is where Conker and the Panther can find Barry. And the final battle commences. Barry, the final boss, the Panther Queen. They struggle. It's a really hard fight. But with their efforts together, they end up defeating her, killing her off for good, but at the same time, emotionally destroying Conker. This wasn't a hard battle just because of the physical limits, but because of the mental too. But with the threat now truly over, for real this time, they return to Earth, just in time for Conker and Bunny's marriage. There's a surprise guest waiting for them though, a Barry clone from the tank attends the wedding. But with no recollection of what happened with the real Barry and Conker from the past few days. All of Conker's friends are ready for the marriage. And when Conker returns, he's in shock to see that Bunny is now a zombie. Dead. Just like Barry. But instead of peacefully resting, She's a walking corpse that feeds off flames. Conker is now devoid of any more pain. He chooses to still marry Bunny, even if she's a zombie. Because at the end of the day, she's still the girl he fell in love with. The wedding carries on. Conker agreeing to the marriage. Our best friend Frankie the Pitchfork says, if anyone knows of any reason why these two should not be wed, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. The Barry clone that's attending clears her throat to speak. Then the credits roll. For real this time. And it ends on that cliffhanger. That was the entire plot of Conker's Other Bad Day. And there is some minuscule stuff I left out. But I left it out solely for it not being specific enough for me to talk about.
And I cut a lot of stuff out too because, I want you guys to actually watch the video. Because I want to just illustrate my point that, this is the Conker game we could have got. This is the Conker game that should have been. Not fucking Project Spark, even though it... a little bit of promise. I feel like we could have had this. This could have been a thing that we could have enjoyed. If it was on, let's say the rare buyout didn't happen until they were done with Conker. They were done with the second Conker game. Think about how many of us would be emulating that Conker game right now. And then, instead of Project Spark, what if they just... What about, instead of that, they reveal the Project Spark thing with Conker, but they go, and then Conker goes, oh, wait a minute. I have one more thing to show you guys. And then, boom! Conker's third Bad Day 3. The crowd just loses their shit. They're like, oh my god, they made a 3. 1 was good, but 2 was infinitely better. But 3, oh my god, what could they be doing for 3? Think about how your excitement would be if you played this, and years later we get a 3. And I think the Project Spark thing wouldn't be so overwhelming if they actually say, let's make a Conquered Bad Friday 3. Boom. But that's how I feel. I kind of hate Microsoft for that because, they could have actually said, Chris, talked to some of the boys at Rare and we've been like, hey, we should do this. Something for the fans. I mean, we gave them Live and Reloaded. We also remade Other Bad Fur Day because in this weird timeline, this hypothetical timeline I'm thinking of, they already made Live and Reloaded 2, which is just Conker's Other Bad Day. And then they just released 3. They released 3 and it's just everything comes together. Either they keep going and keep on doing cliffhangers after everything, or this is the big wrap up of the story. Kind of like what Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts tried to do. In the beginning, where there's a narrator that's talking about the story so far. And this could have been and they could have literally opened where Barry is clearing her throat. And you know what? I'm gonna save that for another video. But yeah, I don't really hate Microsoft like all these little fanboys would. All these little Microsoft fanboys that get all these little Sony fanboys that get mad at every little thing Microsoft does. No, I'm pissed that this game never got to see the light of day, and just had Rare do a lot of things before they did Sea of Thieves. At any point we could have had this Conker game, and that's what really pisses me off. But I'm gonna leave, guys. That's enough for me today. We learned a lot today. I talked to you guys about fandoms. And for the love of God, man, I want this sequel so bad. I want this sequel so bad. Now I know what the story would have been. Something I've always wanted to know. It just makes me want it even more than I already did. And it just sucks that it's not. It sucks that it's basically just vaporware. That's what sucks about it. But I'll leave you guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace. And let me just play my outro now.
You watching the Big 3 Bucks Network?
Yeah. Okay.
You watching the Big 3 Bucks Network?
Yeah.